Welcome to the Rise to Thrive podcast with Matt
and Brooke,
where we embrace what it means to be human and explore how to become the most expansive versions of ourselves through vitality, connection, and play.
Expect honest conversations, transformative stories, and playful shenanigans as we unpack what it means to claim a life of your own creation.
Ready? Let's rise. Welcome back to the Rise to Thrive podcast. We're your hosts, Matt
and Brooke.
And today we've got another incredible guest for y'all. Her name is Marissa Hughes. She is a good friend of ours, and she's a women's transformational gut health coach.
Gut health.
Pardon my speaking. I knew I should have done my warm-ups before we started recording. And a very knowledgeable individual in all things health and gut related issues. So we're excited to have you on the podcast, Marissa. It's been a long time coming. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I am always up for a gut health talk, and I love your guys' whole vibe and outlook and all of it. So I'm very excited to have this fun conversation.
Yeah, I know. And you're so great at speaking. Like, I just love listening to you and the way you articulate things, and just very, there's the confidence and the competence that you emanate. So it's really great to have you. And
well, thank you. That's so nice to hear, because I have actually never in my life been able to be a public speaker before, like in any capacity, until I got into this space. And I'm so passionate about it that I'm like, I can't be camera shy anymore. I have to get the word out to everybody. So it took me a long time when I first started coaching to be able to even be online or do things like this. So it's nice to hear that. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you seem like a natural at it, but it's important, right? Isn't public speaking?
It's like people's number one fear. It's like the number one fear.
Yeah. Well, and like, it's different when we can do it like this online rather than be on a stage where there's everyone just staring at you. This is a little more comfortable, even, though a lot of people are going to see it. They're not actually just staring right at you. So,
and if anything goes completely haywire, we can edit things.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
It's always nice knowing that.
Yes.
But it's going to be perfect.
Hey, everyone. Just wanted to jump on here quick and give you guys some love and shout you out. We've been doing this podcast for now 2 months and 8 episodes. It's wild to think. And we've been having a lot of fun doing it.
So if you are having fun on this journey with us, make sure to like the episodes and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then give us a follow on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, as well as a 5-star rating.
And if there is a notification bell, make sure to hit that so you don't miss an episode.
All right, back to the show.
See you in there.
But yeah, I would love to just know, I mean, usually people in the health coaching space don't typically end up there just because, hey, I really want to do this. Like, usually it's because you went through something yourself. So I'd love to know what exactly led you here and what was your own personal journey.
Yes. So you're exactly right. We all usually end up in this space because we went through a lot of issues ourselves, which makes us, I think, more able to be empathetic toward our clients, which is a good thing. So even though I went through years and years and years of feeling pretty miserable, I appreciate it now, because I wouldn't be able to help people if I never went through that. So I had gut issues since the day I was born into my 30s. So 30 plus years of feeling, I always, gut issues vary so much. For me, I always felt like I was going to throw up. Like, always. Just nauseous. It seemed like every single food bothered me, no matter what I ate. And I always kind of thought it was that's just the way things are, because I didn't really realize how sick I felt. And then I was like, this can't be right. I'm going to go to doctors and see what I can find out. And big surprise, doctors were no help. And I had one doctor, he was an old man, like he probably should have retired, but he told me I must just be defective.
Wow.
And then sent me on my way. And I was like, this can't be right. So, and this was really before, the internet really, and Instagram and ChatGPT and all these things that people can kind of look up now. I didn't really have all that. And so it was a long road of reading, like trial and erroring, all these different things. And it took me a good 15 years to get to the point where I am at now, where I feel the best I've ever felt in my life. And I have all
Mm.
day energy and I can eat all the foods I want to eat. And I sleep 8.5 hours every night and I'm in a good mood every day. Um, but I would really want to take that 15 years and like shrink it down and
Mhm.
help people feel the way I feel now in like 4 months is really my goal. So everything that I went through is exactly what I hear back from my clients now. Like they've been feeling bad for years, if not decades. They've been to all these different doctors and specialists and tests and specialists and tests and the whole rigmarole, and no one is helping, and they feel worse and worse and worse all the time. So I can totally relate to that, and that's why I really love helping people.
Yeah. I get it. I've been there myself, and often
Yes.
I've been let down by the Western medical industry. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so grateful that people have humans like you and me that can be like, "Yo, you don't have to go through 20 years or 30 years or whatever it may be to get to a place of healing," taking all
Yes,
the guesswork
exactly.
out of it. And I know
And it's
that's
never
something.
just like, I think in our medical system and in just sort of the general universe, it's like there's one doctor for your skin and one doctor for your mental health and one doctor for your gut and one doctor for this. And it's like we've been taught that everything works in isolation.
Right.
And what we know now is like what we were just talking about, like the whole body's connected. There's a energetic side, there's the physical side. You're a whole being, and that's
Mhm.
how we need to kind of, I think, switch our focus and understanding as a society and get away from this everything works in isolation and start treating the person like a whole person. The
Mhm.
Right.
nervous system and sleep affects your hormones and your hormones affect your gut health and your gut health affects your skin, the whole thing. So there's so much to learn and I think it's so fascinating, but the fact that it is all connected, I think, is the good news, because if we start with the gut and address what's going on in the gut, it's like a cascade of all these wonderful things happen throughout the rest of the body too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know it can be overwhelming though, like you said, because it's all connected. It's like, well, what is it? Like, is it my
Mhm.
gut or is it the toxins or what, like, is it that I'm depressed? I have anxiety, like whatever it may be. I know that people can be overwhelmed with like just trying to
Yeah.
figure out what the heck is actually going on,
Mhm.
So I know that your path here is to help people simplify that. So
Yes.
what for someone that's like, "I'm super overwhelmed, I feel all these things," I can totally relate, and, like, I don't even know where to begin. Like, how would you approach that?
Yeah. So and I think this is like the best news I can give my clients is like, if you do feel like you just have a laundry list of symptoms, you don't know where to begin. If we begin in the gut, you could probably address all of your symptoms. So
Right.
I
Okay.
think that that's great news. And
Yeah,
it's like a relief to go, oh, okay, so I don't have to go to 8 different doctors. I can really,
Right.
really address almost everything in the gut. Like I've had clients that got rid of lifelong eczema, lifelong migraines, things that you don't really think of as gut issues
right.
by addressing the gut. So, like what I do right away with clients is we test your gut microbiome. So it's just
Mm.
a stool sample, because then we really know what's going on in the gut rather than guessing. So many people are just trying something, throwing an idea at the wall, see if it sticks. If it doesn't work, you try again. And it's like this whole frustrating cycle. Or we can just test the gut and we can see exactly what's going on. And in that, about 30 days while we're waiting for your results, we start with the nervous system,
Mhm.
Mm,
because the body cannot heal if we are living in constant fight or flight. And I feel like this particular time in history is like the most fight or flight we could be living in,
Yeah.
yeah,
right? Like we have computers in our pockets and 24-hour news cycles, and the politics are so crazy, and people who have kids, it's like now kids all do year-round sports and year-round this. And I feel like the culture is just go, 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 go.
Mhm.
And when you ask people like, how are you? The most popular answer is, oh, I'm so busy.
Yeah.
And I hear that all the time. And it's sort of almost like a badge of honor these days to
Mhm.
be busy. And I really encourage my clients to think of the opposite as a badge of honor. Like,
Mm.
how much did you relax this week and take care of yourself and just sit in nature and look at a tree? Like, how can we calm the body and like just give it a break? That is when the healing process can really begin. So, I would say with any health issue that you are having, start with the nervous system, like daily, even if it's 5 minutes of deep breathing or a 5-minute walk without your phone in nature, listening to the birds. And
Mm.
it sounds silly, but these things really do calm the system. And then it gives your body a signal that you're safe. And that's when the body can start to heal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I know that firsthand too, just my journey with dealing with different, like, random little health issues, but my process used to be, like, freaking out about it all and,
Yeah.
and then I'm perpetuating more of the symptomology because I'm stressing about it and thinking of the worst case scenario of what it could
Mhm.
possibly be, and then I'm feeling more of the symptoms, so how that's just, like, this terrible feedback loop, then I know I'm not the only one that probably does that. I mean, I'm witnessing it in my mother right now
Yeah.
and what she's going through with the crazy flare, and, being the observer of that is like, whoa, which I'm sure has been a mirror for me and being, like, overcoming that, but just seeing how it's just perpetuating more of the stress that's causing more of the inflammation and the response that she's experiencing.
And I was thinking about that a bit this morning. I was like, it seemed like she's kind of mellowed out a bit the last couple days
Hmm.
and is celebrating the small wins
Mm.
and the progress that's been happening. And in doing that, I feel like, yeah, she's calming down, she's like mellowed out, and that's just going to help the positive feedback loop of her healing journey.
Yeah.
Right? And, like you said,
Absolutely.
it's all connected. So, if our emotions are high and we're stressed out because we're not healing fast enough, it's perpetuating dysbiosis in the gut. And then the dysbiosis in the gut is affecting our mood. And then it's just
Yeah.
like it can go either way,
Right.
right? So
Yes.
it's really
Absolutely.
I imagine like so much of it is a mindset piece of like
Yeah.
claiming your power and taking responsibility and playing a role in your own healing journey. Because it's not just pop a bunch of supplements and expect miracles to happen.
Yeah.
Like you need to be a partner with,
That's
what
such
you're
a good
taking.
point. Yeah, because I think a lot of people, and it's not their fault, but they just think, this is my diagnosis. This is what I have now, and I just have to deal with it. And it's almost this victim
Yeah.
Yeah.
mindset.
Mhm.
Not to say that in a bad way, but that's just kind of how you feel when you don't feel well, rather than I have full power over this
Yeah.
diagnosis.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
mean, the diagnosis is irrelevant. Everything that's happening in the body all can come back to the same things, right? So you can heal your own body, and having the feeling of that power, like, oh, I can heal my own body. Just because my doctor says I'm not going to get better doesn't mean I'm not going to get better. I have this power. But
Right.
we tend to give our power to these medical professionals
Yep.
because they went to school for so long, and what they were taught in school, we don't really know how beneficial that is for
Mm.
a lot of people. That, if you have an emergency, or like
You
you
gotta
have
be
a broken
put
leg, you get in a
together
car
again.
accident, like, doctors are heroes. But if you're just talking about wellness and actually healing your body from the inside out, we need to not give our power over to medical professionals. We need to take it
Yeah.
ourselves. And I
Yeah.
love that you said that, like, you are getting yourself into that mindset that you are playing a role
Mhm.
every day. What you eat, what you think, what you spend your time doing
Yep.
is part of your healing journey. My whole program is based on 4 pillars, because I've realized over all these years, these are the 4 things that, I don't care what your diagnosis is or what your symptoms are or what you're going through. These are the 4 things that your body needs, and it can heal itself. There's only like 1 to 2% of disease that is actually not treatable, curable. It's actually just what it is. And then everything else we can heal. Like the body is amazing. So number 1 is mind body connection. Like
Mhm.
we've got to get that nervous system into a good place. And it's just, it doesn't have to be anything dramatic. It's just simple things that we do throughout the day, like a little bit of gratitude. I hopped on with a client the other day who was, I could tell was like in a panic.
Mhm.
And I just real quick, I said, just grab a piece of paper and a pen and write down 5 things that you are grateful for about the place you live. And you can see like this calm come over,
Mm.
just writing, and was like, as soon as you switch your brain, and it could be something that simple, out of panic mode into gratitude or joy or laughter, it's like it immediately gives you this little bit of healing, every time. So it's like just finding some things that make you happy, make you feel joy every day, nature, breathing. So that mind body piece is huge. Nourishment. Every single client that has ever come into my program is like very, very, very undernourished.
Mhm.
As women, especially, we've always been taught to cut everything, cut calories, cut fat,
Mm.
cut carbs. And we all grew up in this diet culture, and they are all eating like birds.
Mhm.
And they're really not getting the nourishment. So we need to optimize the nutrition. And, like the government will tell you, here's your recommended daily vitamin that you should get. That's like the minimum you want to get. I want you to get the optimum amount,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Like we don't want the minimum amount of health. We want the optimum amount of health. So let's optimize your nutrients, your vitamins, your minerals, your protein, your fiber, get all those colorful antioxidants in there and really give the body the building blocks that it creates your cells from. So we're constantly rebuilding our gut lining like every 5 days. So what do you want to build that gut lining out of, right?
Yeah.
We get the raw material from what we eat, so we want that food to be the best building blocks. So we optimize nutrition, the gut microbiome. We have way more bacterial cells in our body than we do human cells, but it's completely ignored in our medical world and really in, just our life. People don't even know that they have a microbiome sometimes. So we're really like a whole group of bacteria with like a human suit, really. Like we're not really more human, we're more bacteria. So we need to take care of these bacteria and make sure that we are cultivating and feeding the good ones, and the good ones will get rid of the pathogenic ones. Like if you think about your gut as like a parking lot, there's only so many parking spaces. You want all your parking spaces to be filled up of the beneficial bacteria that are going to help you reduce inflammation, protect you from leaky gut, balance your hormones. There's, the gut brain axis, the neurotransmitters, like all of these good bacteria, they all have big jobs. So we want to fill the parking spaces with those good ones. If we start to lose the good ones through antibiotics, glyphosate, which I know we could go on for days about glyphosate, the main ingredient in Roundup is killing our bacteria, medications, alcohol, processed foods, right? The list goes on, and it gets rid of our good bacteria. Now some of our parking spaces are open. The bad bacteria come in, take up the parking spaces. Now we have inflammation. We've got, you know, like the bacteria are very opportunistic, these pathogenic ones, and they want to come in, totally take over and like wreak havoc on the body. And so when we do the gut microbiome test and we can see exactly what's going on, we fill your parking lot back up with the good guys, get rid of the bad guys. And that is really when all the changes start to happen, when we balance the microbiome. It's all about balance. And then the fourth piece is detoxification. So, our world is toxic. We can't avoid toxins. So we shouldn't really stress out about it, but we can just make really mindful decisions. Like when you're buying laundry soap, just think about like, do I really want all these chemicals to be on my clothes? And then I put my clothes on and it gets absorbed into my bloodstream. And then all these chemicals have to go through my liver, right? Or I can buy something that only has a couple of ingredients that's really clean and it'll get my clothes clean, but it's not going to affect me and my kids and all that. So trying to just make mindful choices of the toxins because we can't control the air we breathe. We can't control, if we go out to eat, we're probably getting some toxins. All that's fine because your body has the ability to get rid of them. But what we can control is what's going on in our homes and the food that we cook at home and trying to buy organic as much as we can to avoid the pesticides and really just support the body's natural detox process so that the liver and the kidneys and the skin and the lungs can all get rid of toxins when we need to. So those are really the four things that I base my whole program on. And if we can get all four of those things working really well, I can pretty much promise you that you're going to be able to fight off disease and whatever's going to happen to you down the road a lot better because I call it just building your health home really strong. So when a storm comes, your health home is built really well and it's not going to get damaged. If we have these pillars that are kind of falling down and our roof falls down, then a storm comes, we won't be able to handle it. So it's just really about giving your body the foundation to keep it resilient as we get older.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, if you guys didn't know, the 3 pillars of Rise to Thrive are vitality, connection, and play. If you want to squeeze more juice out of life, then join our free community on School.
This is about reclaiming your vitality, feeling more connected, and honestly, bringing more energy and play back into your life. And it's also where we'll be the most active. Real-time conversations, updates, all of it.
So if you're ready to go deeper and stay connected with us in real time, hit the link in the show notes and join the tribe inside.
I know, keeping it simple, there's a lot that we can be overwhelmed by and stressed out by and all these little things. And yet it's a miracle that so many humans are still walking around, despite everything that's kind of up against us, if we want to look at
Yeah.
it in that way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there's so much, like you said, there's so much we can control, and yet, like you say, the air we breathe, that's one that's particular hits home, outdoors, more of the chemicals being sprayed in the skies and things like
Yeah.
that we've personally felt the impacts of. And
Yeah.
it's no longer a conspiracy, people. It's
Yeah.
very clear.
It's
You can
There's
look it up
happening.
for yourself and
some
see it
things going
happening.
on.
Yeah.
It's being
Yeah.
acknowledged by the government,
And that's just, it's so frustrating to me because we do our very best to be healthy and to reduce exposure to toxicity before even getting to the detoxification. Like, you want to plug
Right.
the hole in the bucket before you keep filling it,
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
that's one in particular that's just like really hard to avoid because we're told, and we personally love spending time in nature and getting out
Yeah.
in the sunshine and getting your feet on the earth, getting into the woods, and that comes with the things that are going on. We're not going to stay indoors all day to avoid getting rained on by some chemicals, but it's
Yeah.
But now, even like the last time we went camping at the most beautiful place up in Oregon on the
Mhm.
Metolius River, which is touted to be like the cleanest river. It like literally comes up from the ground.
Oh,
Mhm.
really?
Yeah, it's epic.
Magical spot.
And then we get to our campsite, which was epic, and I looked at read the board, the informational board, and there's like a sign that said what they were spraying the invasive plants with. And of course, one of the ingredients or one of the chemicals is Roundup. And then 2 other toxic chemicals. And I'm like, okay, well, that's pretty fucked up because we're literally right on the water too. That's
So it'll
specifically
go into
supposed to be
this
clean.
beautiful river and now you have a toxic river because of
Yeah, and we're trying to
humans.
get out into nature
To heal.
to heal and to detoxify and to reduce, the impact on our bodies and enjoy. And it's like, oh my God, we can't escape it.
Yeah. So then that's why we do what we do,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right? Where we put the best things into our body that we can
Mhm.
and we take our supplements that help us detox better.
Mhm.
And like I said, only worry about what you can control
Right.
Yeah.
because the rest of it, like there's no point in stressing out about it if we can't control it. But what we can do is just little micro changes in our own everyday life to support our bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or do you have a
I was
question?
just gonna no, I was just gonna add, and that's why we tell our clients too, and the people we work with, like, it's no longer optional to detox.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
detoxification, I feel like, had this stigma of like, oh, you're doing a detox and you're
Yeah.
doing a cleanse, and it's like it has a start and a finish, and it's usually a few weeks or a few months, and like then you go back to,
Then you're
you
good.
did your work. You can
Yeah.
pat yourself on the back and go back to what you were doing. But now it feels like it's more of a lifestyle choice and a maintenance protocol to consistently be helping move these things through. Um,
Absolutely. And, we're very passionate about, the products that we use because we've seen in trials, like we have a supplement that'll remove 74% of glyphosate out of your body. This is everybody needs to be on this. Like I have my kids put it in their smoothies.
yeah.
Like the kids' food is the worst food.
Oh yeah.
Thankfully, my kids are grown up now. They're not eating little kid food, but the little kid food is the most toxic food in the grocery store. And they're gonna get it at birthday parties, they're gonna get it at school. Like, unfortunately, we haven't really caught up at school with giving them healthy food. So, even supporting children with taking these supplements, I think is really important. They're finding glyphosate in umbilical cords. So
Yeah.
kids are born
Yep.
with toxins in their bodies
Yep.
that they never had before. And then we wonder why there's so many new cases of all these diagnoses that kids have. And when you're born with toxins in your body as a newborn baby, it's really no wonder why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary.
It is. I know. We're here for the children.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so passionate about that, and just so many people, women, moms, fathers just have no idea, what the impact is of what they're passing down to their
Yeah.
children, before they even take their first breath into the
And then,
toxic
there's
stuff.
really not like very much uh education for pregnant women
Yeah.
about how to really give your baby the absolute best of you that you can give. And I think that is something that is so lacking. I've almost thought of putting together a pregnancy like mini course,
Yeah.
um, just because you can set your child up for just an amazing health life
Mhm.
Yeah.
during your pregnancy. But we don't know. I didn't know. I had
Mhm.
no idea, like zero. And that was 26 years ago. But still, I still think there's just not enough education around it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask you specifically about your perspective and take on like food sensitivities, and when people are like, oh my gosh, I'm sensitive to this and this and this and this, and I took this food sensitivity test and now I can't eat
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
It's a great question, because this is what I went through. Like when I the first time I went a day without eating gluten was the first time I didn't feel like I was going to throw up in my
Mhm.
whole life.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, that's weird. I actually feel kind of good. Like, what is this about? And I didn't even know what gluten was. So I did this little cleanse. And then the second I put a piece of bread in my mouth, I got that feeling again. I was like, okay, this is something. But here's my take on food sensitivities and taking those tests. Taking the food sensitivity test and then just removing all the foods that your body doesn't like is not healing anything. So it's like if you have your sink is leaking in your house and you just turn off the water. It's
Right.
like that's not really a solution. You can't live without water in your house.
Mhm.
So why the food sensitivities are happening in the first place is what we need to look at. So there's a few different reasons why we get food sensitivities. And, there are things like celiac, which is an autoimmune disease, and that's on the extreme end of the spectrum. And then there are people that just, get gassy or bloated or nauseous when they eat something. And then there's a whole spectrum in between. For the most part, and this is not blanket for everybody, for the most part, food sensitivities probably are coming back to leaky gut. So people have probably heard of leaky gut, and doctors don't acknowledge that it's a real thing, even though it's in the medical textbook as intestinal hyperpermeability. It's a real thing. But our gut bacteria is our first line of defense in our gut. If we are depleted of gut bacteria, then the next is a mucus layer. Our gut lining is actually only one cell thin. It's very, very thin because you want to be able to let through nutrients into your body. So your gut is very smart and it'll go, oh, let the nutrients through. Everything else needs to be passed through as waste. Then when we lose our first line of defense and our mucus layer because of damaging things that we do over the years, now our gut starts to get a little damaged and it starts to kind of open up. And now we're letting through food particles, viruses, other toxins. So now there's this food coming into your body that it's in a place where it's not supposed to be. So your body is very smart and it'll go, uh-oh, we've got strawberries leaking through into the body. Now we see strawberries as a food that's toxic. So the next time you go to eat a strawberry, your body is going to send you a signal because it's so smart. Like your body's always doing the best thing to keep you alive. So your body will go, oh, let's like send up a signal so that we don't eat strawberries anymore. So typically it comes back to leaky gut. We can replenish the gut lining, the mucus layer, the gut bacteria, and now you should be able to go back and eat those foods again. There's another piece of this which is so interesting. And I did a webinar and talked about this. And there happened to be a lady in the webinar who was like, that happened to me. So our nervous system can also see food as a danger. Let's say you're, outside picking strawberries and eating strawberries and your mom yells at you because you didn't clean your room and you're getting screamed at and you're like, have these strawberries and you're like, oh my God, and start crying and run back in the house. And now your nervous system is going, oh, strawberries make us sad. Or
Yeah, it creates
strawberries are
like a
making us upset.
correlation between the emotional state in that moment, the nervous system like imprints it, and it's an
Yes,
association with the food that you're eating.
exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah. So did you have a bad breakup and you always ate, chocolate ice cream while you had a bad breakup? Or, were you in a bad relationship and you ate this food a lot? There's just so many different correlations that we can have with certain foods. And so that's why the nervous system piece is such a big piece of it. If we can signal safety to the body, that's when we can really start to make the changes happen. So eating in a rushed state, nowadays, no one takes a lunch break. Everyone is eating and sitting at their computer at the same time. So in your mind, you're worried about your boss emailing you and you're trying to digest your food at the same time. It just doesn't work. Your digestion will completely shut down. Now the food just sits in your belly. Now it starts to ferment. So you have these reactions. So it could just be you're eating in a state that you shouldn't be eating it.
Yeah.
Right. So there's all these different components to why people think they have food sensitivities. And sometimes, like in a case of celiac, that's more extreme, but I have seen people actually reverse celiac and eat gluten. I can eat gluten now. I really choose not to for the most part. I'll have like an organic sourdough. But I know that it could also be the glyphosate, not just the gluten. Like it could be just the glyphosate, possibly. Because wheat is one of the highest sprayed crops. And so the mechanism of glyphosate is it acts as an antibiotic in our body. So it kills our good bacteria. It also, for those little bugs on the plants, it pokes holes in their gut until they explode. So that's not a great thing for us to be ingesting. And even though they say we have a different pathway than the bugs, so it doesn't bother us, well, we might have a different pathway, but our little gut bugs have the same pathway. It's called the shikimate pathway. So it's killing our little gut bugs just like it's killing the bugs on the plants. And then they have now started using it to spray the crop, to desiccate, to dry it so they can harvest it faster. They make bigger crops, dry them faster, harvest them. So now we're not only getting the pesticide killing amount, we're getting the amount that is drying the crops so they can harvest them faster. So we're getting it sprayed on right before they harvest, which is there's double the amount or triple or quadruple the amount going into our body. So wheat, corn, soy, oats, really highly sprayed. So if you're sensitive to any of those foods, it could actually be the glyphosate as well. So, with all that being said, with food sensitivities, my goal is to just let's build your gut really strong so you can eat whatever you want. If
Yeah.
we get your gut like super strong, really good bacteria, get that mucus layer really strong, then you should be able to eat pretty much whatever you want without having any reactions.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that you shared that you wanna help people stop fearing food.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Because that fear, if you pick up something and you go to eat it and you say in your brain, my body is going to react to this, your body's probably going to react to it. But if you eat it and say, I digest this food perfectly, you might actually digest it perfectly.
Yeah. But let's
But
not be, encouraging people to eat a bunch of processed foods. But
What's
I
the
no,
feel
saying
no.
say,
like
though? What's this?
the saying is, "It's better to have a happy donut than a sad salad." But if we have the mindset there's someone that's like, "Well, then I don't need to change my eating as long
I
as
could
I'm
just eat donuts all the time.
I'll just train my body to process it well." You
You
know?
might be able to process it, but you're not giving your body the building blocks to make new cells.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you've got all these old dead cells hanging around, and your body can't make new, fresh, good ones unless you put the good food in. So even people who are like, "Oh, I don't have gut issues. I have an iron stomach. I can eat,
Mhm.
all the processed foods I want." Just because you can doesn't mean that you should,
Mhm.
and, you're not really doing for the best thing for your body at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you wanna go out and have some treat food, I don't call it cheat food, I call it treat food, then you should be able to. Like,
Yeah.
if your thing is you love pizza, you should be able to go out and have a piece of pizza and not worry
This
about it.
guy right here, Matthew.
We
Yeah,
all have our
We
treats.
all
we
have our very
do, we
specific
do.
treats. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so we
that's
should be able to enjoy it, Like,
Mhm.
that's what food is all about.
Yeah.
I
right.
freaking love food. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
cooking it, I love eating it, I love reading about it, I love looking at recipes, like, I love it. So
Yeah.
I want people to be able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
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 Totally. That's one of our favorite things that we get to bond over and cultivate community around and share with others. And part of our course too is like the benefit of cooking with others and smelling the
Yeah.
food and having this whole interaction with the food and actually catalyzing the salivary glands to be activated and the digestion to start. And then you're sitting and being present with other people that you love and you enjoy, and your nervous system is in check and
Yes.
all the things and how healthy that is. Even if the food maybe isn't all organic and perfect, but the act of coming together in community, sitting around a table and cooking together is so beneficial and something that we've lost in modern society.
It's really I love that you make that point because I've had people that are like, "Oh, when I go on vacation, I can eat pizza," and I'm fine.
Mm.
Why do you think that is? Like, you're happy and you're joyful and you're right, like, your digestion works because you're not stressed out, but if you
Yeah.
sit and
Right.
eat pizza and check in your email, you probably aren't digesting it, so, yes, being around people, like, looking around the table and laughing and enjoying, I
Mhm.
think we lost such a big part of that in COVID. When
Yeah.
people started staying home and just ordering food, people still just stay home and order food.
Yeah.
People are not going out like they used to, they're not socializing like they used to,
Mhm.
and especially, like, kids, like, really the age of, like, I think teenagers, people that were just kind of in college, graduating college, and they were forced to stay home and they kinda stayed that way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That whole generation isn't really going out, and I'm not saying you have to, like, go out to bars and drink, but, like, go there is something to be said for that whole, when you're 21 and you're going out and you're having fun with your friends,
Yep.
and kids aren't really doing that. And
Mhm.
and, I'm in the restaurant business. My husband and I have 5 restaurants, and the to-go orders are still a thing. Like, people are
Right.
Wow.
still doing a lot of to-go food and eating at home kinda
Yeah.
by themselves.
Mhm.
Dang.
So, I love that you make that point because that's such a huge part of it, is community and connection and joy. Like, that's what your body wants.
Yeah.
That's such a big missing piece.
Yeah.
I'm curious for you, when you're helping people, What do you find are some of the sticking points or the parts that are really difficult in the early stages that people have in overcoming to really turn the corner and start to see improvement? Because I know, it doesn't have to take 15 years to start seeing changes, but changes don't just happen overnight either. There's like
Right.
habits and, things that there are to overcome. Like, what do you find are some of those hurdles that people struggle to get past, but once they do start to really see, changes for the good?
Yeah, that's such a great question. And it's the same answer every time. Mindset, that nervous system piece. Everyone who comes to me is totally willing to change their diet, and they pretty much already have. Like, they're
Mm.
eating clean foods. That's why it's so frustrating. They're like, "I eat clean,
Mm,
and I still feel bad." They're totally willing to take the supplements, totally willing to walk and work out and do other things, but they have a very hard time admitting that they are living in fight or flight,
Mm.
mm,
like, living all the time.
Yeah.
I can see it as soon as we get on Zoom. I can see the stress
mm,
and the sort of anxiety, and so getting them to understand, like, if we could just take it down a notch, drop your shoulders, let's do some breath work together. I do
mm,
breath work with my clients over Zoom.
mm,
I do have breath work recordings so they can do it every day. Getting your body out of that fight or flight. A lot of people are in that stage of taking care of their kids and their parents, like
mm,
their older parents,
mhm,
and they're working and they're paying bills and they're cleaning the house and politics, you know? So it is a stressful time. Like, most of the women I work with are like 45 to 65-ish. I work with kids and all kinds of other people too, but that is really the time when it's like they're sandwiched between taking care of kids and their parents too. It's really stressful.
Mm.
So they're giving, 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 giving. And like, I don't have time to do this for myself. Like, I'll take supplements because that takes 2 minutes. I'll
Yeah.
drink my shake because that takes 2 minutes.
mm,
But I don't have time to do breath work. I don't have time to sit in nature, right?
mhm,
That is the hurdle, and
mm,
then when they realize it, how much better they feel, it's like you can see the light turn on, and the next time I meet with them, you can almost see the calm
mm,
in their just demeanor,
mhm,
and it's a different person, but it takes unlearning everything we've ever learned, like I said, about going, 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 giving, 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 and realizing that slowing down and doing things for yourself first is not selfish.
mhm,
Like, it's the best way to make sure that you can take care of other people is to give yourself that self-care. So that's the big one. Um, for every it's very different with men.
mm,
I mostly work with women, and then every once in a while I work with a man, and they just have a very different way of going about things, and I don't know how to break through that, whatever that thing is with men. So it's interesting to me how different men and women really are.
mm,
And most of the men I've worked with, they think they already know how to do it all.
mhm.
Mm.
And so I'm like, okay, well, I don't think you would hire me if you really did know how to do it. So how
Right.
about we try it my way?
Mm,
But they're very stubborn,
mm,
Mm.
very stubborn. So it's interesting. And then with younger people, like, I've had a couple of like college age kids, and they'll do whatever you say. They're like, sure, great, whatever. They can do it all. And it's amazing to watch where older women are very set
Yeah.
in their ways,
We were just talking about this, like, because I was saying, what's the ideal client to work with when it
Yeah.
comes to this? Because I find that people that are older, one, it's like, can you teach an old dog a new trick? And
Yeah.
two, their bodies have also been around longer.
Yeah.
Right, so, like, the detox pathways are more sluggish and overwhelmed, and it may take a little bit longer for them to actually get the results, which can then be really
discouraging.
discouraging for them, and then they give up right before they have overcome those hurdles. So,
Right.
yeah, I'd
Yes.
love to hear, like, yeah, about that and what that sweet spot, like, is there an age that you find that is kinda like, okay, they're, like, perfect client, it's really easy for them, and then yeah, tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, and you're right, like, I do some of these gut tests and a lot of times the older you get, the more sort of challenging the gut test results seem to be,
Mm.
um, and but that being said, I've also worked with, like, seven-year-olds who have a gut test that I'm like, "How is this possible? Like, what has killed all your bacteria? You're 7," right?
Mhm.
So, age doesn't necessarily have to mean that it's more challenging, but I think it all does come down to mindset, and if you've done something one way for 40 years, it's gonna be really hard to change it,
Right.
right? So, it takes a lot of, like, trying to get them to sort of, think it's their idea in a way.
Right.
Mhm.
I don't know if that makes sense, but, like, "What
No.
do you think would be helpful for you?" I kind of ask that a lot. "Well, what do you think would be helpful?" And they can sometimes, like, come around to ideas that way.
Mhm.
Um, but but I have like, this generation is so techy, this sort of younger generation, and they're really good at just, like, doing stuff.
Mhm.
And so I can just give them their protocol and I give them my online course. They show up to their meetings, we check in, they go on about their way, and then they message me and go, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I feel so much better. Thank you. Goodbye." And then, with older people, it's like there's a lot more sort of hand holding and
Yeah.
Yeah.
discussing and figuring things out and all that. But, that's why it's so frustrating to me to watch people that only go to doctors and expect to feel better because doctors are not going to hold your hand.
Mhm.
They aren't going to help you with your sleep and your stress and your nutrition. And that's just not what they're there for.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know where along the way we came up with this idea that doctors are here to coach us on nutrition. Like, they don't teach that in med school. That's not what they're there for.
Right.
Yeah.
But people get frustrated that they don't get nutrition help from their doctors. I'm like, that is not their job,
Mhm.
Right.
right? Like,
Yeah.
we need to figure out how to get that help on our own if we need it. And so watching people do things that are only covered by insurance,
Mhm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
just going to, you're not going to get better. You're not going to
Yeah.
get better. You might get pills, you might get, tests, you might get procedures, but really feeling better is like having a coach that gets it. I don't even care if you hire me, just
Yeah.
somebody that really cares and really will help you and walk you through it and hold your hand if you need it. It's just, even just sometimes I will get off one meeting with someone, the very first meeting, and they'll text me and they'll go, "I don't know what it is, but like my stomach already feels better." I'm like, "It's just because you have hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, your nervous system just relaxed
Yeah.
Yeah.
because someone just told you, yes, you are going to feel better."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know that someone is going to help you.
Yeah.
Your nervous system relaxed.
Yep.
Mm.
Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch a lot of people be really sick
Yep.
and just rely on the medical system. So I know that totally got off the topic of what you asked, but
But no,
that's
I'm
where I
No,
went.
super
it's
important,
important.
important point.
Yeah.
And you can, what that brings up for me too is like the ones we care about. I mean, Brooke and I both are
Yeah.
going through it with our families and like seeing
Yeah.
people who are, of a certain older mindset of like, the Western medicine route and what's covered by insurance and things.
Yeah.
And it's like there's some little tweaks you can do to your lifestyle and you would be healthier, you would feel better, and it's like preventative care for yourself. You won't
Yeah.
have to use,
The insurance
the
as much.
insurance as much. You won't be making as many trips to the doctor. And it's like
Yeah.
it's trying to shift people's incentives, I guess, in some way of taking responsibility. Like I've been calling it like being the CEO of your own health. It's
Yes.
like
I love that.
empowering people to do that so that so that they don't have to be, relying on the system as much.
And how stressful that is too, of like, oh my gosh, I need to get in to see the doctor and get all these labs done and all this stuff. Like the stress of the medical system is insane. Like
Mhm.
I would not want that to be my world. And I
And I
think
know
that
some people, yeah, they're just going to constant doctor's
Yeah.
appointments,
Yeah.
like getting this test and seeing this specialist. And it's like, it's a full-time job for some
Yeah.
people.
Right. So the
And it is
trade-off.
it's the hardest to watch your family
Yeah.
because you
Totally.
know you can help them and like you just want to like I
Shake
can
them.
help you.
I know,
Like
like here's the pathway. If you just listen,
yeah.
we have all the things. It would be so much more enjoyable. Like your life,
Yes.
like I mean, I have a brother, and me and him are very different. 180, like you would have no idea, just in the way that we view health, and it's fascinating because he's like, oh, I'm here for like a good time, not a long time kind of mentality, and I'm like,
Yeah.
but if
And he literally
only,
says that.
yeah.
It's like a funny joke, but it's like it's repeated.
But it's
Yeah.
fascinating to me because I'm like, but you don't even know how good it can be to feel good and how much life gives so much more to you and how much you can enjoy life so much more with energy and
Yeah.
vitality and good sleep and not feeling like shit all the time and trying to figure out what's going on with your gut while you're slamming freaking Coors Lights. Like, it's just mind blowing to me because people have this twisted idea of what a good time is.
Mm.
And that's not necessarily, like it's part of the path, right? Like I did that too. I went down my path of drinking and partying and doing the whole college thing, right? And
Yeah.
to your point, like I was in the worst health of my life. Ironically, when I was like in school studying nutrition, but still partying and doing the social things that were like
Yeah.
socially acceptable to do at the time.
Yeah.
And so much of my gut, like, issues resolved when I graduated. So,
Mm.
the stress was lifted, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god," like, just being in school, like, the lifestyle of college is so, like, pro-inflammatory,
Yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So
I watched my son go away to college and he came back like with acne, like
Mm.
painful acne, you know what I mean? Like I just
yeah.
felt so bad for him and he was just eating the school foods,
Yep.
like so bad. But, you know, I like we all have our treats. I love wine. I love it. We're in the restaurant business. We have wine tastings, we do wine paired dinners, we cater things. And I can have some wine and have it not damage my gut. Now, am I drinking like I used to in my 20s? No, I would still be in bed, but it's like we can still do the things that we want to do. I think people think like, oh, well, if I do your program, I'm never going to have any fun again.
Right.
Right.
And that's the absolute opposite. Like, I
Yeah.
want you to be able to have the wine or the pizza or the ice cream or do all the things that you want to do, but your body is so strong
Right.
that it doesn't affect it like it would. And I didn't know how bad I felt. So like, talking about your brother and everybody else who doesn't feel well, you don't know how good you feel until you feel good and you're like,
What?
"Oh my god." Like it's like it really is like a veil lifts and you all of a sudden see the world in bright colors and you
Right.
didn't realize it before.
Yeah.
And I will never go back. Like, people might look at me and go, "Oh, I can't believe you're having, a salad and we're out for a fancy dinner." I'm like, "This is what makes me feel good. I don't wanna
Right.
feel like shit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and this is what my body likes." I could have a big, heavy dinner, and then I'm not gonna feel like doing anything afterward. Like, I
Totally.
like to feel good,
Yeah.
and I will have that big, heavy dinner if it's worth it, but
Right.
I will never go backwards, ever.
Yeah.
I
And
love
and you and
feeling
it's
good.
hard to when you start to purify the body and the mind and know what you know. It's like once you see, you can't unsee. Once you know, you can't unknow. It's like, why would you want to go back? And
Yeah,
then you purify your body in such a way that like there's just foods that don't align on a like frequency level, like a resonance that used to align that felt good maybe once and now are just like, nope, that's not what my body wants anymore. And it's really cool to be on this journey to like witness the different shifts and like what I'm yearning for. Like, oh my God, I just want fruit all the
yeah.
time now. Like, that's what sounds good, you
Yeah,
know?
like, I have been obsessed with kiwis, and I'm like, every time I eat one, I'll look at my husband and go, "God, I just love kiwis." He's like, "I know."
They're
But
so good.
it's so good, and
Have you
then
had one of the golden, what were they?
No, those little ones.
yes.
The
We had the
golden
golden
ones,
one, and we also had these like mini
kiwi
kiwi berries,
berries.
kiwi
Oh,
berries.
I've seen those, they're like this
They're
big.
like mini, mini little
Yeah.
kiwis, and they're so good.
I also saw red kiwis
Mm.
recently.
Oh, alright. Like, the
That's
flesh is red?
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Interesting.
But you know what I have just started doing is having 2 kiwis, maybe like an hour and a half before I go to bed, sleep like a baby.
Really?
Wow.
There's something in kiwis that help you sleep.
What?
All right. Well,
And
just
if you're
write that down.
constipated, kiwis help you poop. They've got so many
Yeah.
good benefits to them.
Yeah. Talk to Josh. He's like the Kiwi freaking master, like
He's the Kiwi
spokesperson.
master. He's the blueberry grandfather.
He was just like all around. He knew what was good before anyone. I feel like.
But like your body will tell you like what it wants. And then if you just listen to it, then you feel so good. But like if you eat something and you don't feel well after, but then you just keep eating that thing all the time anyway, it's like your body's trying to tell you it doesn't like
Oh,
that. And you know, like I was saying before with food sensitivities, I want you to be able to eat whatever you want. But that being said, some of these foods out there are not foods.
right.
They're
Mhm.
food-like substances
Mhm.
that they've like put so many chemicals in and processed it so much, put it on the shelf and put bright colors on it, and they call it food, but it's not food.
Right.
Right.
So when I say I want you to be able to eat whatever you want, I'm really talking about real
Real
food.
Real food.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. The fact that we even have to make that distinction.
What was that?
Yeah.
Was those like Kraft singles cheese
Oh,
we were
yeah,
looking that up the other
cheese-like.
day? Where it's like a cheese-like product or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a product. It literally says product in
Products.
it.
It's
Yeah.
Not
not
food.
cheese.
At
It's
least they're not lying, just putting food
I
on
know,
it.
but
It's
it's
just a product.
tricky.
It's sneaky, you know? But I want to know so can you just speak? I know this could probably be a podcast in itself, but um, the role that like parasites play, do you deal with that or test for that? Or what's your take on the parasites?
Well, parasites are very sneaky, and I've never seen one show up on a stool test, which means because everybody has parasites now for the most part, which means they're hiding in tissues, really, for the most part, and they're not coming out in the stool, which means they're just living there in your body somewhere. So I'm not an expert on parasites by any stretch. I really deal more with the bacteria side of things, but I do recommend some parasite cleansing, maybe every quarter,
Mhm.
because they are, you know, like I was saying before, opportunistic. Like these bacteria and these parasites, they will come in and start stealing your nutrients and causing all kinds of trouble. So, um, I, in my mind, do a parasite cleanse once a quarter, but really it's probably more like twice a year because I forget.
Yeah.
But I do think it is a good idea to do some kind of gentle cleansing of the body at some point, like taking a week or 10 days where you're eating really clean, drinking a ton of water, like going out in nature, just kind of taking a break from your busy whatever else you're doing
Mhm.
and give the body a chance to do a little cleanse. And there's so many different cleanses out there. So finding the one that's right for you and using a a practitioner that you trust is always a good idea.
Mhm.
But I do think it's a nice thing to do for the body to like get all the organisms out that we don't want living in there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. What's your take on
If you have a pulse, you have a parasite. So
it? Yeah.
And
it's
we've done levels of deeper and deeper parasite cleansing, and
Yeah.
you know, we did a whole mucoid plaque cleanse and then followed that up with a parasite cleanse, which is known to be even more effective. And you know, we've seen parasites leave our bodies
like
for
a
sure.
lot.
Yeah.
Like a lot. And like I've been on this journey for a long time of cleansing for, I mean, at least like 6 years of like pretty diligent with my health and nutrition.
Yeah.
And I'm still passing a bunch.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's cool. It's fun though. Like we want to make this process like enjoyable. We geek
Yeah.
out on that kind of stuff, being like, yeah, like this is leaving my
Like
body.
this
and
is
how much
awesome. I
Celebrate
mean,
it.
Yeah.
yeah. Like you'd rather have it out
Out.
than in,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
So,
somebody I worked with once, they were like, they didn't want to do it. They didn't want to do a parasite cleanse because they didn't want to see it.
Yeah.
But most of the time, you're not seeing it because it's tucked
Yeah.
in your stool. You know, we
Right.
go through it with friggin' like chopsticks and like look for them because it's so satisfying to know that they
Yeah.
are leaving our bodies, and that's
Yeah.
the
So
thing
you
with
can You can be hands off and
You
just
can
Yeah,
be.
totally,
let it
and just
happen.
trust that it's leaving, that it's working, because the work works when you do it.
When you do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like disturbing their home, so, like, doing the intestinal cleanse, the mucoid plaque cleanse, like, that's basically just uprooting their entire home. So they
Yeah.
don't have anywhere to hide and live and nestle
Burrow,
in.
yeah.
So then once that home is gone, then you hit them with the herbs or whatever you're using for the parasite protocol, and they're
Yeah.
just like, they're
Mm.
gone. They're
Yeah.
goners. They're on that slip and slide all the way out because your intestines are clean and there's nothing to hold on to anymore.
Yeah. You'll have to give me more information about the whole shebang.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
definitely.
you'll
Yeah.
love it. It's we love it's fun. We're probably due for a good
Another one, for
real
sure.
soon. Yeah.
And that's what we
Yeah.
tell people too. Like some people want to, I mean, we've been known to share some photos with people who are interested. We share little sneak peeks here and there, but we're like, if you really want to see some stuff, hit us up and we'll share some photos. And they're like, I want to do that. I want to go deep. And we're like, whoa, time
Yeah.
out. We've been preparing our bodies and
Yeah.
gradually leaning deeper into this. You can't go 0 to 100
Yeah. And that's a
overnight.
really good point. Like
There's a
you want to set your
preparation,
body up for success.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with any kind of new protocol or supplement or, you always want to give your body a chance to get used to something before
Mhm.
you just jump in. And
Shock it.
there's people out there that are like, oh, I take, a handful of 15 supplements. And it's like all at once, day one.
Mhm.
Like, how about take one, let your body get used to it, and then keep adding on. So I do that with my clients with their protocols. It's like week 1, we do one supplement. Week
Mm.
2, we add another one. Like let your
Nice.
body sort of ease into your whole protocol. We don't do 15 pills all at once. So
Yeah.
you always want to set your body up for success.
Mhm.
Yeah. I just love when people are just diving deep or are new to the whole gut microbiome world and they're just like, yeah, I'm just going to eat a bunch of like yogurt and
Oh, yeah.
fermented foods and
Yeah.
kimchi and sauerkraut and kombucha. Like that's what I'm going to do, I would love to just hear what you have to say about that. If you have anything to say about that.
I do. And, I have a real hard time with all this cookie cutter advice that's out there. Like, if you go on Instagram and just look up gut health, you're going to get literally 50 million different people telling you all these things. And unless you have done your gut test and you know exactly what's going on in your gut, there's no cookie cutter advice that you should be jumping into. So, when you have, let's say you have an overgrowth of pathogenic bacteria and you have like small intestinal bacterial overgrowth and your stomach acid is depleted. So you're not really breaking down your food very well in your stomach. And then you just throw in all this fermented food, but you already have over fermentation happening in your body.
Mm.
Then the fermented food is like completely exacerbating the problem you already
Mm.
have. And that's why a lot of people feel worse. Or sometimes people have a histamine issue. If you've got a histamine issue, fermented foods can exacerbate a histamine issue.
Mhm.
So these are things that we can see on your test. Let's clear out the things that are causing your symptoms. And then you can go nuts with all of the fermented foods when we get to that rebuilding stage. But we have to do the right order: weed, seed, feed. So you got to weed the garden before you just go out and put all these beautiful flowers over the weeds, right?
Right.
Then we can see on your test exactly which strains of bacteria you're missing. And we know exactly what to feed those specific bacteria. And so then we seed your body with that bacteria. Then we feed it the specific foods that are just for those bacteria. So we can create a whole food list of foods that are good for you, may not be good for somebody else
Mm-hmm.
that are missing different bacteria than you're missing. So doing that process, the weeding first, is really important. Like we got to get those bad guys out of the parking spots before we fill the parking spots with the good guys. So I love fermented foods. I have all of them in my fridge. But I have done the process of the weeding first. And in fact, I just did my gut test again because we have this amazing new process. I'm so excited about it. I'm like a little kid. with this gut test that I've been using for years, they've now joined with a medical AI system that makes a digital twin of you, your height, your weight, your medications, your whole health history, your gut test, like everything. They make this twin of you. And then they try all these different protocols on your digital twin, and then they can see how it works down the road and which protocol and which foods and everything make you the healthiest person 6 months down the road.
Wow.
It's incredible. And they use, because there's so many studies coming out all the time, there's no way we could keep up with all the studies. It keeps up with studies in real time. So there's like 225,000 current medical study results that it pulls from to get all the most updated information. So even the studies that are released today, it will pull information from that. So it will look at all your bacteria in your gut, see exactly which ones are causing which things, so you know which ones to get rid of and then which ones to feed. So that whole process is like going to make health like more precise than ever. So I just did my own test again so I can really see what's going on. And if I find out that there are pathogens in there, then I will go through that weeding process and wait until I have my, you know, good probiotic foods, probably, that you don't always have to. But it is important to really know what's going on before you just kind of take all the advice that's out there on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw something about that you shared recently on somebody with the bone broth story.
Yeah.
Do you want to give
Yeah.
a recap of that?
So everybody has bone broth for gut health. I mean, it's everywhere, right? Like, and I'm myself included, I make it every other week, keep it in the freezer, and I make soup for my family with it. But I had a client who was drinking bone broth every day and having a couple spoonfuls of sauerkraut every day because she heard that these things were good for gut health. And she was one of these, like, in fight or flight all the time. She was always going, going, going. She was having like almost some heart palpitations. She was having rashes. She couldn't figure it out. She eats really clean, was doing all the right things. And we got her gut test back, and she had very, very, very high histamine, like 99th percentile histamine. And I go, so let's just put you on a low histamine diet for the time being while we repair the root cause. As soon as so bone broth and fermented foods and avocado, she took out those 3 foods, like next day, it was a world of difference. Because
Wow.
those foods, even though they're good for you, now they were not good for her in that time because they cause histamine to flare up in the body. So then we just repair the root cause of why she has all that histamine in her body, and then she should be able to slowly add them back in, and she was able to.
Yeah.
So just because the food is good for you doesn't mean it's good for you.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, we're all so complex. It's wild.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and and just yeah, honoring the intuition too. I'm sure that's a big part of it as well as that self-discovery,
Absolutely.
getting more attuned to your body and what it is that you need and learning to trust in yourself and with the guidance of other people. I mean, is it, you know.
Yeah. There's a reason why people say trust your gut, right?
Right.
Like you want to listen to it, and we're so disconnected from our own bodies a lot of times, and
Yeah.
really just connecting back in. And people are just there's always so much going on externally that they forget to really like even pay attention to these little signals going on in their body. So once we can kind of reconnect that makes a huge difference too.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, we appreciate your work and what you're doing to help support and elevate humanity back to a level of thriving health. And so, the final question, Matt.
What does a thriving life look like to you?
A thriving life to me looks like being able to do all the things that bring you joy because it's different for every person,
Hmm.
and actually be able to enjoy it because you feel good. And for every single person out there, it's going to be something different. And I want people to do what they want to do. And we tend to be in this like I go to work, I come home, I eat, I go out on the weekends with my friends, and I go to work, I go home, I eat, and it's like, that's not really life sometimes. And I think people get caught up in that because they don't feel very good and they don't have the desire to go out and go hiking or go on a trip or do all these things because they really don't want to leave the house because they feel like shit.
Yeah.
So getting yourself to a place where you can actually enjoy life because your body feels good and then go out and do those things. Like, don't write it down on a bucket list. Like, do it, enjoy it, live life, be happy, be able to, spend time actually having fun rather than just doing all the things you're supposed to be doing all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. More play.
More play, baby.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes.
Yep. Health
I
is
know.
for
I
more
love
of
that. I watch you guys and I'm like, that is it. Like, that's enjoying life. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
Well, you too. I see you out there. You're out in Europe on a whole little tour of whatever and enjoying food and wine and
Yes.
company and
Or just cruising around in your Jeep with the top open and
yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
And it's those little things like I am like, oh, I want to go to the grocery store because it's sunny out and I want to like drive around and listen to music and have my top
yeah,
down. Like, it's just being able to enjoy even just the little
yeah,
silly things. It doesn't have to be a big thing, but
totally.
kind of focusing more on what brings you joy rather than just living life and getting through life,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thriving over surviving.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, where can people get connected with you if they want to learn more about what you do? Where can they find your work and what do you got
Yeah,
going
so
on?
I have a Facebook group, Nutrition for Women with Digestive Issues. So I do some free trainings in there and give some helpful resources and recipes and things like that. And I'm on Instagram at Marissa Hughes Health. And my website is thehappybellymethod.com. Got to put the in there because someone else took my name.
Oh,
So there's a Happy Belly Method, but I am thehappybellymethod.com. So you can see all about my program and how I work with people on my website.
Cool. We'll put those in the show notes as well.
Awesome.
Okay,
wow.
awesome, Marissa.
Wow.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for connecting. We love geeking out on all things health and
It's super fun.
Yeah, this could have been a whole other hour.
yeah.
I know.
For sure. But we just got to give them a little so they want a little bit more,
Well, it was so fun. Thank you guys. I love it.
All right.
Everybody listening, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.